Hello, guys. This is Unmasked Athletes by Jordan Thomas. I'm super excited to have Vegas on.
I'm Dyllyn Anderson, also known as Vegas, around campus and with the guys.
So this interview I'm really excited for because Dyllyn he's done playing football here at S&C. So I think hearing his story would inspire a lot of guys that are pursuing their journey and other things besides football. Dyllyn, let's start it off. Let's tell me where you're from, how it is, at S&C, your major, and just kind of tell us a little bit about you.
Well, first off, I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, but I've lived in a plethora of places throughout my life, so there's a journey along there. Life at S&C, it's been a roller coaster. The guys are amazing. Teachers, they're passionate and personable, and I don't know, I've found like my own sense of community here, and I think that's what I was looking for out of college. So in that way, I'd say I'm successful. But major, business administration with a minor in economics. I think those two things kind of work with my brain.
Yeah.
So at first I was a physical therapy pre-med major, and after the first semester of bio, I was like, I don't want to take 7 more of these. So I decided to be done with that and find something new.
Yeah. So thank you for telling me about that, by the way. So I want you to kind of tell me a little bit about like where the places you live and how it revolved around your sport, or what made you want to be in that sport with being in so many different places.
Well, I grew up in a little bit of a military family. My father at the time was like ex-military, and he was also kind of indulgent in a lot of drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. So we ended up moving to Maine when I was about 4.5 years old. Lived there for 10-ish years, and then after I graduated, we moved back and lived there for another 3, and then I came here. The sport helped, though, a lot with fitting in and stuff, and originally it was, my mom didn't want me to do it because, I don't know, it's just, in her eyes, it's a very violent sport, and it's easy to get injured, and she was trying to, like, prevent me from that. But I remember playing soccer in, like, 3rd grade, and I'm like, this is for the birds, dude.
Yeah.
I couldn't just sit there and just, like, run around that entire time and not do, like, something more than that, which, no disrespect on soccer. Soccer's great, but not for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, my buddy's dad, he was an assistant coach at a youth program, and one day he literally just like, he'd always step up from time to time because my mom was a single parent and she'd never have time to like take us to stuff. And he just like stepped up one day and just took me a tryout practice, and ever since then I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
So, but no, football just helped give me like an out and something extra to do. I was always doing sports, but like that was the main one that I was like, this is what I want to focus on. So yeah, I think that answered your question.
You explained a lot. I really appreciate that too.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm in year 3, what I'm saying, you're done. So I kind of look at how you guys carry yourself. A lot of older guys on the football team, it's like, dang, I'm going to be there soon. And it's like, if you could give a message and an insight to what it's like, tell me about your journey within college football, the things you learned, how to be a student first and then an athlete, because I think a lot of people, they forget that we're actually students, especially at a D3 level where it's like, you got to really love football because we don't get paid for it. I mean, sometimes guys can get NIL, or it's like a donor or something can give us NIL money, but it's kind of very hard for us to really, you can lose it. And it's like, come on and tell me your experience within how football helped support you mentally, but also tell like the side that a lot of people don't see, when the door is closed, like we struggle. You know what I mean? You got to learn the playbook. You got to balance school, and especially some of our lives a little crazy. So give me a little detail about that. Yeah, I'm excited about this.
So my high school, we had a lot of like hazing issues in the past, at least the high school I finished off at, because I ended up going to 2 throughout my career. And the latter one, because of the hazing and stuff, they actually discontinued the football team for like, I think it was a 12-year period or something like that. And by the time I showed up my junior year over the summer, that was like their 4th year getting back into it.
Yeah.
So they had like a lot of, I don't know, like administration issues and like logistical things of like t-shirts, practice gear, pads, all that stuff. It was an interesting time, to say the least. You might have to repeat part of the question for sure.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot there to unpack.
Yeah.
I think it helped me as like a way out of like my current situation to like continue pursuing football. And at this point, my junior year COVID year kicked off a little bit. It was during the spring, but that kind of like shut things down, and we just came off like our first winning season in over a decade.
Yeah.
And we upset like the number 3 school in the state, and like nobody's heard of us. So it was like it was a deal. It was like it was a little bit of a deal. No one put us even like on the list of like names to watch this year for high school football. So but getting into that, we barely had a playbook on defense. I played both sides of the ball, but defense was at least up front where they had me because we were such a young team. I was super undersized, but I was like one of the biggest dudes who could like still handle being a lineman. Mm-hmm. So I was undersized, but they're like, we need you here because the rest of the guys are like freshmen, sophomores, and they're like maybe $140 at the biggest.
Yeah.
So they're like, there's no way that you'll be able to do anything else. So I ended up playing left guard and defensive end. And it was very interesting coming here to college at first because we didn't really run plays in high school that much. We had like some certain calls that would just like, it'd be a blitz, it wouldn't be a blitz, and we'd like shift around that a little bit. But they didn't worry about like proper stance or technique or stuff like that because we didn't have like a D-line coach or anything, and all the coaches were voluntary except for like the head coach, and he was the guidance counselor at the school. So it was like really interesting ball, but we made it work. And getting to college, being a D lineman, my first day, I got smacked in the mouth, and I had no clue how to like properly like get down in the stance. So, and don't even get me started on the playbook during camp, dude.
I don't think a lot of people understand like that college playbook from a high school playbook it's a different ball game.
It's insane. There's so many different working pieces, and I think something I learned along the way was if you understand what everyone around you is doing, like it can help, but you can only focus on yourself.
Correct.
And there's like a difference there of like knowing what's going on around you that'll help you know your job better, but you can only do your job. And a lot of people will try to like be more than what they're supposed to be, and that can lead to gaps in like defense, offense, whatever it is, and other teams will just exploit it by chance or by preparation. And I think that's like, I don't know, that's something I sincerely take away from my early years is like not trying to be too much and just focusing on who I'm supposed to be for the team, because everyone's here for their own reasons, whether it's to get better, pursue a level past college, or have the best college career possible. But I feel like a lot of times we lose sight that it is a team sport, and it's a very competitive sport, so it's really easy to get in the mindset of like it's me versus everybody else, when in reality it should be you versus you, and like continuing to get better yourself while like staying within the realm of what is your job.
I like that. I feel like going based out, you said a lot of real. I wanted to say something, but we try to keep it PG. But like what you said was like, long as you do your 111, like you focus on yourself, especially like there's levels to this. As a freshman, you usually need to worry about yourself, and as you get older, then you can worry about everything else around you, because then you can expand. So it's like if you're not focused on yourself and you truly don't understand what you're doing, you're going to get lost. And I feel like I hope this inspire a lot of younger guys as well, based off our conversation. Year 3, year 4 for you, it's like we can they can truly like understand like what we're doing, like what is our purpose, because we're trying to send a message. We're trying to paved the way. We're crawling so y'all can be able to walk and run. And what you said was real. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to control what you also got to control what you can control as well. Because with that, you got to also allow yourself to do it. Because you got to put the work in, but it's also just like, you got to really understand, like, let me do my assignment. So the second question I got is, like, how does it feel, like, being in your senior year in college and you trying to navigate what your life after football is going to be?
Sorry.
You're good.
It's a mental game, because, I mean, I like to fall back on the fact that I did have a redshirt year, so I do have like a year of eligibility left where I can use it if I want, but I think it really hit me in the middle of the season where I was like this could definitely be it. And I think I used like my gap year as like a crutch a little bit to be like, it's not over yet, but it's a lot to think about. Whether it's like the educational piece or like a career piece or something like that. The family you get on a team is just like unreal, like unmatched by anything you could possibly have at like a company or anything. And I think the only place you could really find something that like deep would be like the military. Yeah. Because, I mean, they go through stuff together. We go through stuff together. It's definitely not on the same level, but it's like, that's where you like develop that like bond, is like going through tough times with people. And I think looking like graduation in the face and stuff like that was like, I think it's difficult to find something that truly aligns with like you as a person and what you're like looking for out of life. And I feel like it still hits me sometimes of like, this is my last semester, this is it. Like, I have some stuff figured out, I have an idea of where I want to go, but everything else is just like up in the air. Whereas like college, you kind of have like a direction that people are pointing you in and like an end goal. But once you graduate and get your diploma, dude, it's good luck. It's the world's out there. And the way like the job market and stuff is, it's like after COVID, people are doing like multiple people's jobs in one job and still getting paid less than what they were. So good luck getting hired sometimes. I don't know, it's been a roller coaster of emotions for sure. But I think one of the...
You're good, take your time.
I think one of the bigger things is like knowing I'm not going to have that group of guys behind me the entire way. Because like coaches come and go, they can make or break a game or a season or whatever, but like the relationship and bond you get with the guys is like so surreal. And like I honestly think it's the most important of like being in a sport is like being shaped by the sport, but also like having this community of like-minded individuals who are like working towards something and going through stuff with, and knowing that like we're all gonna go our separate ways in a few months, and like I might not talk to some people ever again who I used to go to lift with every day at 6 a.m., you know? And I think that's the reality of just like, there's like a new normal coming, and change can be scary, but like knowing that it's gonna kind of shape friendships and stuff like that in different aspects is it's kind of nerve-wracking. For sure.
I agree. Like, kind of going off what you said, is just there's no connection and bond that you can build with any other sports team, my personal opinion. I played baseball, played basketball, and it's like football, like there's nothing like it. Like, you really are going to war every single day with each other, and then you can go in the locker room and just laugh. And like you can walk away, like at practice, like, you know, we turn up, we try to hit each, we try to rip each other's head off, but it's like you don't see a lot of sports where it's like you can go hug your brother afterwards. Let's go to the calf. Let's go get back together, or a weekend you go try to hit the town or anything like that. I just haven't seen it, because it's like you see your brother during struggling, like maybe he can't squat that much and you got to push him. Maybe he can't bench that much, but you got to keep pushing him. You see people weaknesses and you can expose them, but you're still trying to make them work. Football is able to give us an opportunity to really show us like my last episodes, like, it really shows us who we really are. And it really, truly gives you, sometimes it may give you a purpose and it may give you a key to the door, but sometimes the key is you. So football just exposes who you truly are. And that's the truth that I got from it. And sometimes it builds you and it molds you. And when it gets taken away from you, who you are, you had it already in you, but now it's just on you to utilize those tools that was built in you. But football just showed you. Football is just a key. You're the door. You're the whole house. Football just kind of gave you a key and a guideline of the things and attentions that you could be. And the intent, it holds you accountable too. Let me go to class. Let me try to stand for overall with my classes. That's what football teaches you. That's what people think. The whole time, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You see where I'm getting at now? Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's always, everything has been built in you. You had a mold since you was a baby, since God gave you something. Mm-hmm. God gave you every single thing. And when your purpose sometimes get miscommunicated within yourself, that's when the fine line gets blurred. So it's like, football can't be everything. It just can't. You can't idolize football because God doesn't get the glory. Sometimes you don't also get the glory as well because you're so focused on one thing and you forget that you have a whole life outside of it. Yeah. It's kind of like how you said, like, your purpose is beyond football. You're going to be able to change life as a teammate, not just because I ain't fake, like, you know that, like, not because you right here I'm interviewing for, you can forget about the camera or whatever, but because that's why I wanted you on here, because your story motivated me, even in your senior speech, like, dang, like, this hit me, like, I'm sitting there in the back, like, that's going to be me next year, like, and it hit me because it's like, we're going to get more into the story, I'll stop talking soon, but it's like, I want to kind of tell you, like, your purpose is beyond who you are. You're going to be able to unlock so many doors. You're going to be able to unlock so many opportunities in your life. You don't even know yet. So football was just a part of your life now. Mm-hmm. It could be your past. Like, you still got more time. So it's like you're able to have and do whatever you want as long as you put your mind into it. But it's also stop fixating on your idols or idolizing things like your phone, internet,
false
school.
Idols.
Yeah, like those things is what pull you away from your faith. Those things are what pull you away from who you are. And when you idolize something, you start to become it. A lot of people don't see that. But the second question is going to be a loaded question. And because I know you. So if football was taken away from you and you know you couldn't play it again, before your senior year happened, what would you be? Who do you define yourself as? Or what would you want to become?
I would still be myself, but I feel like something would be missing from that, because football does, like, add something and, like, what's the word? It makes you, like, all your faults and all your successes, like, greater. It expands upon them. So I feel like deep down I would still be me, and I would still have, like, the same goals and aspirations and stuff like that, but I feel like football, like, pulls it out of you almost, and as you said, like, you kind of, like, stare it in the face a little bit, and if it was, like, ripped from me, as I said, like, I feel like something would be missing, but at the end of the day, I would still be, like, my base self. And I think football in a lot of ways allows you to improve upon, like, who you are at the base. Yeah. But it's not what made it at all. It just can, like, help excel you in whatever areas you're struggling with or want to improve or something. Like, for example, like lifting. Like, my high school, we barely had a weight room. So coming to college and, like, pursuing football further allowed for, like, me to get better, both, like, education-wise or, like, techniques and all of that stuff. So it just kind of, like, helped improve what was already there underlying, like the self-improvement or wanting to get better, wanting to continue education, whatever. It just kind of, like, brought that forward more and added upon what was already there rather than just, like, making it. Does that make sense? That made a lot of sense. Okay. You gotta make sure sometimes.
No. You made a lot of sense. No. If they get lost, that's their fault. But then you spit game right there. But I kind of want to do a little deep dive. Like, you're gonna see what I'm gonna do into the end of the video or whatever. I want you to kind of tell me, what would you tell your younger self, and tell us because you're more than, obviously we talked about. Like, tell me, like, the mistakes that you learned from. Tell me stories that you'll tell your younger self, let's not make again, from whatever story you want to tell us, or just from freshman year of football and college. So you can explore that, but I want to kind of get a little deep dive, like the things that you learned and how it molded into this amazing person you are now.
I appreciate that. I would say just like stop worrying so much. Like, I feel like especially when I was younger, I there were situations that I went through that probably pushed me to be that way, where I worried about things too much, or like cared too much about like what other people thought and such. But I would say to just like be present in the moment, stop worrying too much about the future, and stop worrying too much about the past, but like be here. Like, people get so caught up in like what they could be doing or what they should be doing, instead of like going out and doing it. I feel like part of that is like indecision leads to nothing. But if you just go out and start, even if you don't have like all the answers or something like that, at least you're going and doing something and making more progress towards whatever it is, and like figuring things out. I feel like so much of my freshman year or high school, or like I took a gap year in between high school and college, was me just worrying about what are next steps, how's it gonna happen, all very like reasonable things, but I feel like you can get like lost in the uncontrollables, rather than just like focusing on yourself and what you want. Because a lot of people, a lot of their motivations can come from like outside sources, parents, teammates, expectations from professors, whatever it may be. And I feel like a lot of the times we lose who we actually are and what we actually want. And I feel like something I tell myself is like, just go out and live. Don't worry about next year. Don't worry about things that you can't change, or stupid things that may or may not happen. Just go live, enjoy life. Like, these 4 years have gone by so fast, and so many people have come and gone, and it's sad, but it's also happy of just like how incredible college can be if you do it correctly. And I don't know, I always used to make the joke that people say college goes by so fast because they're inebriated for over half of it, but I'm pretty sober. Like, on occasion I'll get a little rowdy, but for the majority of the time I got nothing going on, and I still feel like it went way too fast. And that kind of goes back to your question of like what happens after college, after the sports and everything, is just like, I don't know, man. We gonna find out, but it's been a journey for sure. And
for that, I feel like the beauty is when you get lost, and the beauty is whenever you figure out why you're lost. And I feel like you kind of understood that, where it's like you try to control what you can control, but you also realize it took so much away from you then, because you're worrying about things that you also couldn't control in that moment. So it's like, be where your feet's at. Like, you got to be able to live for today. And my pops used to tell me all the time, it's like, we live off borrowed time. Me and you, we might not even wake up tomorrow. So it's like, why would I have to regret today when tomorrow may never be guaranteed? So it's like, you got to be willing to live for today. And if you worry about everybody else's perception, how you live your life, what's the purpose, you got to live with money, you got to live with this, you have to live with so little. A lot of people don't realize. And you can be grateful for the littlest things, because I've been through a lot, you've been through a lot, and it's like, we can complain all day, we can mope around, slug around, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Man? It doesn't solve nothing. And complaining in your life about every little thing, all it just does is makes more stress and more weight. And you have to carry that. You have to carry that every single day of your life.
One thing I just like learned was there's a term for that, and it's invisible energy. And it's just like all the things going on in your head, like weighing you down constantly, that takes energy for you to like carry and think about throughout the day. And it takes so much away from like what could be happening, or like things you could be like thankful for. And it's kind of sad that that's how society works almost.
Yeah.
Like, you carry so much that's like disappointments, stressors, all that stuff, and like you don't talk about it, but you like continuously like recycle it through your body, and eventually it like envelops who you are as a person, and people can sense that.
Yeah.
And like it just makes you more negative and more down than like what you could be. Like, you just can't like dwell on things like that all the time, you know?
And I always tell people, trying not to be vulnerable makes you vulnerable. You gotta, if that's true, like, you trying not to live the life you want, you trying not to tell how you truly feel, because mental health is a real thing, especially for athletes. And I kind of want to get on topic about Rondell Moore. And I was in my room, I was like kind of crying a little bit, because it's like, we don't know the secret battles that we face. Not with the sport, leave the sports out of it. But as human beings, we face obstacles every single day, and we contemplate, are we good enough? Am I good enough in my relationship? Am I good enough in my sport? Am I good enough for a brother, a daughter, a sister, cousin, auntie, uncle, grandma, mother, dad, whoever, the list go on. And you have to start thinking, the world is going to move on with or without you. The world's never going to evolve around one person. So it's like, you, again, the moping around, like, you got to be able to pick yourself up, because those things make it harder. And like, obviously, like, on my first episode, and I was kind of like discussing, like, I have PTSD, depression, anxiety, and I battle every single day. I battle with it, but I continue going, because it's like, if I don't keep going, the next person won't, because I have to be able to live for today. Even I taught myself, like, I give myself affirmations every single day, not to give myself positivity, because I'm molded, again, that mold word, we molded ourselves to be who we want to be, not what people wanted us to be. That's the biggest difference in life, because you got to live for you, because you can't live through people. Just like that's what I made the podcast about. You can't live through anything you idolize and you love. You got to be able to live for yourself first, because I can't tell you, Vegas, I love you, and the whole time I go back home, I hate myself. That's not real love. That's not authentic, because you don't know what love is, because you don't love yourself. I can't trust you when I don't trust myself. It's like on the test and the quiz. You know that gut feeling where it's like, you're doing it, you make a guess? That's all it is about trusting yourself. On a football field, who you trust more on that field? I'm picking me. Nobody see behind a curtain, or when the lights is off in the gym, or you running at night. Nobody sees that version. They only see what they see in front of them. That's why you got to start, and everybody else in the world, you got to start believing you. You start putting yourself first in life. That's when the ball keep rolling. And that's the biggest life lesson I learned from my brothers. Really good athletes, all-American. I hated them growing up because they beat me up a little bit too much, but like, I looked up, and those were my idols. Like, I looked up to them the exact same way I looked up to my dad, because that's what I wanted to be. And I was chasing them for such a long time. And then my freshman year in college, I realized I wasn't doing it because I really loved the game. I did it for their approval. Like, I made it to college. I really loved the game, and I abused it so much. And I tell myself I'll never do that again. And I abuse it because I use it as a frustration. I use it out of anger, which is a good thing. But it's like, I didn't do it because, oh yeah, this is all I got. Which it was. It got me out of a lot of trouble. But I did it, and I abused the game. I took everything for granted, not taking the extra times, not the extra reps, going above and beyond. Coach tell us run 100 yards for running. I didn't go 110. I didn't stay after practice like a lot of my teammates. Shout out to Lucas Ruiz out there. He was one of my high school teammates, and he started a trend after practice. Guy just ran like 10 times. Just run for no reason, wasn't in trouble. He just did it. And all of a sudden it became a tradition for everybody to do. So little things like that you can learn from people, but it's like, you have to be willing to do that extra work. And then stop that topic. We can go on and back and forth.
I could go anywhere, dude.
Yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna let you talk. You go ahead and talk.
Well, like, you're mentioning so much, I'm like, oh, that's a good rabbit hole. Oh, that one's good.
Just pick one rabbit hole that I had.
Well, going off of what you just told about your teammates starting that tradition is like, leadership isn't like who's the loudest and who like does this or that. It's who leads by example and
Correct.
who takes action without the authority given. And also, part of being an athlete is like practice and weightlifting and stuff, that's bare minimum.
Yeah.
If you want to be like better and truly improve yourself beyond what you like should be doing at a base level, you have to do extra. You have to do stuff that nobody else is doing. And I think that's something I developed like into my freshman and sophomore year, because freshmen, like a lot of people, when you get recruited into college at any level, you're like the best at your school. And especially I graduated from Maine, so the smallest class I was a part of was 11 people, and the biggest class I was a part of was 650. So I had like a wide range there, but even at the school I graduated from, our class was like 400 deep, and I think only 2 of us went to college to play football.
That's insane.
And so like we were like the guys at the school, and when you come to college, you are everybody else. You're everybody else. And I think that hit me freshman year a little bit, because like we were pretty deep on the D line, and we had a lot of really good potential ahead of me. We had multiple All-Americans. Some of them went to professional pro days and stuff like that. So knowing I was sitting behind them took a toll on me at first, of just like, there's no way. Some of these guys are like 6'5" and like 240 pounds with like abs showing. Like there's no way I'm gonna like touch the field. But eventually it became like, after being coached up my freshman year, I saw like so much progression that I was like, maybe I can ball a little bit. Like, why am I so worried about all these other people? Like, yeah, one can do this, one can do that, but they can't do what I can do. Like, yeah, I'm small, but I'm fast, and I can get around people, and I can move quick.
Yeah.
And some of these guys, they can take 360 pounds and put someone in the dirt. I can't do that. I might try, but it's probably not going to end up well.
But the beautiful part is you knowing it. It's not you being too cocky or arrogant, but you knowing your strengths versus everybody else. That puts you already above everybody.
That's something that like the coaches helped with a lot. I mean, they could have probably worded it a little bit differently, because I gained a reputation for using my head a little bit too much. But they're like, if you just played into your strengths more, like, you would be phenomenal. You just need to like stop trying to be good at everything and just perfect one thing. And I think my junior year is when I finally got that concept of like, this is my move. Like I have 1, 2, or 3 like good, decent moves that I can use, and then once someone adapts to it, I use something else, and it becomes a mental game on the line. And it's so fun. But it took me till junior year to realize that like, just focus on what I can do and what I'm good at, and stop trying to do like all these hundreds of moves that they like the coaches pull out of their butts. And they're like, there's this, and it's like, okay, you want me to long arm someone? Well, the offensive lineman, while I'm long arming him, can just go like this.
Grab me.
I'm done.
It's like the basics of it, like, which is like really insane. Like there's really, like, for the freshmen out there, or like even high schoolers, middle schoolers, you think you good now, you think you a grown man, you get to football, like college football, and it's different. A different world. Different. Like it'd be crazy. Like I don't know who we was playing this year. Like, it was like a little short little stud. No, it was last year. My sophomore year. We was playing Wartburg, bro. Short little white dude. Bro, he was thumping. Like, when I tell you, I'm not the tallest, bro, but that boy was like, we have linebackers like 6'3", booming him, like he was utilizing his strengths on the football field. He's not the biggest. I'm not the biggest or strongest or whatever it may be, but it's like, we have to be able to use, like, especially you, like, we're not the biggest or the strongest or whatever, but we got to be able to utilize our strengths. But that teaches us character. That teaches us so much we got to be really good at this one thing, and then that's when we can start trickling down the line. Yeah. Like, okay, maybe I could do a little something. Maybe I can try to work into that. Getting
back to your point of like taking it into your own hands to do something instead of like complaining. Like, for the longest time, I was like, I shouldn't be in this position. I'm undersized. I'm underweight. Like, why am I here? But over time, I was like, I can ball too. I just need to like learn how to do it properly and like in my own way. Like, people can tell you what you're supposed to do, but that might not work for you. You gotta like make a choice and pursue something that's beneficial to who you are and how you can play.
Correct.
And I feel like people just sometimes try too much.
Yeah. And like do a little bit too much. You got to be able to, but again, be where your feet's at.
Yeah.
Just do the basics. Control what you control and just do your job. Mm-hmm. Do what you need to do, and then you can start worrying about the other things.
Yeah.
But when it's a big old circle and you in the middle, you can't just go at one angle. You just got to pitch away.
Yeah.
Keep going
one thing
slowly,
at a time.
one thing at a time. That's just like life. Like you doing ladder drills. Some guys, boy, they could do that. I'm not one of them guys. When I'm feeling the rhythm, my feet hot at practice, okay, like cool, I can do that. But it's like I can't wake up in the morning like some guys can do that. That's not me. That's them. But when you see that, you gotta be like, okay, like I'm not that person, but I am me. Mm-hmm. And that's what you gotta start accepting who you are first. And then you can't always. I hate this. I'm gonna tell everybody out there. Don't be that person worrying about everybody else around you when you the problem sometimes. You gotta sometimes worry about yourself before worrying about everybody else. You can't be messy when your life is messy. You just can't. And the last question that I want to ask, what do you want to tell your future self? And what do you want to tell the younger generation about your experiences and how they can learn?
Gonna start. You might have to repeat the second one. I'll start with the future self first. We got this. I don't know. Getting back to like the whole worrying thing and stuff like that. Sometimes you just like you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes repetition, and like no matter what, at the end of the day, it'll figure itself out. Mm-hmm. Any problem it is, any hardship felt, there's always an end. And that's the thing. Like people can get lost in what they have going on and things they're facing when like the end's right around the corner, dude. Like, and that can trickle into mental health and stuff as well. Like student athletes, you get buried in a bunch of stuff. Your team expects so much of you. Being an RA was hard for a while because there was like no RAs before me who were on the team really. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it just seems like it'll never end, but you have to have that faith in yourself and in God and everything around you that in one way or another, it'll work itself out. And in a week time, it's not going to matter. It's never as big as it seems. So telling my future self would be, we got this. Whatever this is, whatever we decide to do or like continue to pursue or whatever, I know it's going to work out, and we just need to focus on being us and continuing the paths we made and just be happy.
Yeah.
Like nobody goes through life and is like, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. In terms of like, I wish I had better grades on a test, or I wish I didn't take that job or something like that. It's always like they wish they lived more in the moment or spent more time with people they cared about or like made more effort. It's never about the accolades or anything like that. Like funny, haha, like that's a plaque on the wall. It looks beautiful. But like at the end of the day, it's who I want to be and who I want to be around that matters. And I think just realizing that life will sort itself out and I need to care about the people around me that I care about and continue those relationships. That's where I'd head. That's where I'd tell myself I'd want to go.
Well, I think wherever you go in life, I know you're going to change a lot of people's lives. I know Guy's looking down right now. He's super happy and proud of who you are, but who you're going to become. And no matter what you do in life, I think you're going to not do anything that's going to hurt you, but I think it's going to be able to help you grow. And I feel like the person you are now, just having one season with you, unfortunately, I wish I had many more years with you, but it's like the brotherhood and bond that we built, and reason why it was so important that I wanted you just on a podcast, because again, you kind of helped inspire me a little bit to kind of not take this for granted. And I think I knew it was going to end, but your message really truly showed, like, again, that was your mask. And in that moment when I got to know you, got to be able to take off that mask. Like, you wasn't Vegas, you were Dyllyn. And that kind of made me realize, okay, I got to do more than that. And the follow-up question is just, what would you tell the younger generation? You can look at the camera, you can look anywhere, but it's like, what's your message to them?
I think my message to them would build off my senior speech of just like take a chance and whatever that may be, do what feels right for you, because following someone else, idolizing other people or other things, as you said, like, that's not what God intended you for. That's like, you need to be you. You need to make choices for yourself, and eventually you can't rely on others. So it'll never be a clear picture. It won't always be right and wrong, but you're gonna have to make a choice and stick by it and own it. And I'd say, like, do what's best for you, do what feels right. If that's college, that's college. If that's working straight out of high school, if that's not even getting a diploma, it is what it is. Like, we all have different hands dealt to us and different decisions to make, but at the end of the day, it's your life, and you only get one, and that decision might not even matter in a couple of years, or it could be the thing that changes it all.
Yeah.
But you have to take a chance, make a choice, and decide for yourself who you want to be and where you want to go.
That's an awesome message.
Yeah, no one's gonna do it for you, man.
No, and remember, you got to be able to give yourself purpose first. Then the game will be able to give you purpose. Know who you truly are. Don't start something that you can't finish. When you come to college, the basic things become bigger things, and the bigger things are, Lord knows, I don't know what it could be, but make sure you stay humble. Rather D1, D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO, you stay humble, but more importantly, start trusting the God. Control what you can control, and the things you cannot control, and I'll keep preaching on that. Leave it in God's hands, because all that is going to become a burden, and everything around you is going to become swole. You know, when things can become swole, they can become tight, and they become tight, and they start to constrict you. So you don't want that. And be grateful for where your feet's at, not where you want to be at. And when you start being grateful for where you're at, that's when things start to trickle. But God always has a purpose for you in your life, your family, your friends, or whoever it may be. You got to serve that purpose of what God gives you. You don't try to take away what God gave you, because that's being ungrateful. And the biggest message before ending, people around you, they're not your responsibility. But it's also your responsibility as a human being to love thy neighbor like I love thyself. You got to be willing to uplift people around you, be able to hold their hand, hold them when they cry, be able to be vulnerable with other people, and your mental health always have to come first at times. Because if you're not okay, things around you are not okay. If you're willing to go above and beyond of what you think the right thing is, just do the little things. It's okay to go talk to a therapist. I know I don't like it at all. I did it one time, and then I really started growing in my faith, and that's what helped me. And when I'm mad or stressed, I go read my Bible. Whenever I'm just feel like I'm going to cry or I'm overwhelmed, I read my Bible and I pray to God, and I keep praying. And if you feel like your answers aren't being prayed on, or you don't think God's listening to you, which He always is listening, sometimes God gives you an answer right in front of you, but sometimes you have a blind eye towards it. So make sure you don't have a blind eye. But I appreciate you for coming on.
Of course, man.
Part two. I feel like
down. I could get into like so many other things, and I could just keep bouncing all day off of topics, dude.
Yeah, I guess there's a part two, guys. Shout out. I also want you to nominate anybody that you want to come on the podcast.
Well, you already talked about Mr. Infante. I think he would be a great addition, because his story is a lot different than mine, and he's had a lot more like battles within his college career with the sport than like I have per se.
Yeah.
So he's got a unique take on it, but someone else, man, I'd have to like think of like an old head to be on.
Hey, I got a couple. I got a couple in my pocket. You go.
Yeah, so someone who's like been out of like college for a while.
Well,
like
that's what we got to
experience some stuff. You know,
we gonna cook, and everybody gonna be happy. We're excited. Women, I do want you guys to come on the podcast. Shout out to all the queens out there. I feel like you guys' voice are very important, especially the world we live in. I want you to be able to talk about your experiences. This isn't just about a football podcast. It's about everything. That's a wrap up. Shout out to everybody that's viewing. Please share, like, follow, share everything that you can. Try to build this from ground up. Shout out to sponsors from Gear U. I'll make another video about that. But Sun Mass Athletes, thank you guys.
Thank you.